So, I'm a peaceful person.
I don't think this video is going to be good.
You already know where we go. I'm going
You're
somewhere
starting
bad.
like that. I can only imagine the comment section now.
So, here's my thing. And I'm not trying to start a war. I just want to make sure we all understand I'm not trying to start a war. But I really want to know, why do you guys cut pizza with scissors? And I'm saying that because...
What else are you going to cut it with?
A slicer.
Not everybody has a slicer, but everybody has scissors.
You buy a slicer for a pizza.
But you already have scissors in the house.
Why isn't the pizza already sliced?
Okay.
Why isn't the pizza already sliced when you get it then?
Because you cut it to your size.
You don't cut pizza with a goddamn scissors. I really want to know what Italian people think about that. Because for me, what comes to mind is I don't know what their name are, but the two guys that always review how people cook Italian food. They come to my mind. I want to know what they think. Because to me,
I think they understand their long-term cousins from Spain, and Italians are very forgiving of us cutting. I don't think they care.
Oh, you don't think they care?
No, because they understand we're brothers and sisters.
Oh, you are?
Of the Mediterranean.
So you wouldn't care if Italians decided to cook paella with chorizo. So it'll be fine because we're brothers and sisters.
Why did I know when you said paella? Why did I know you were going to insult her with a chorizo?
I'm not the one I didn't insult anything. Apparently, we're all brothers and sisters, so it's okay.
That's a big insult. That's another word. That's like if somebody were to joke with your mama. As you say.
No, that's not even a joke, son.
Exactly. Paella con chorizo is not even a joke. It's not acceptable. It's not
pizza.
No.
Listen, these
It's not about we're not cooking the pizza with something like pineapple, which we do, but that's not the point. The point is we're just cutting it with scissors because we have scissors at home.
Yeah, but that messes up the pizza. The pizza's supposed to be nice and smooth, nice and sliced.
How it mess up the pizza?
Because you're picking it up with your hand, and the scissors is not clean. It's not surgical.
What do you mean it's not clean? You wash your scissors.
What I'm saying.
What do you think that we keep the scissors and they have all the pizza?
It's not a clean cut. Okay, it's not a clean cut. If you have a good pizza, and the cheese is nice, the sauce is good, and you sitting there, you picking it up, and you're tilting it. You're tilting all the goodness. These are some of the things that you guys do that are just weird that I'm pretty sure Americans don't do. Like, we won't cut scissors with a pizza unless you really have nothing in your house. First off, our pizzas come sliced already. So it's already done at the pizza shop before it's delivered. They run it over with the slicer itself. So there's no reason for us to cut it with scissors. The real question is not that you cut it with scissors. Why isn't it sliced already?
Because you asked for a pizza, so they bring you the pie. And then you cut it at home with the scissors.
It's not a clean cut. It's not a clean cut.
Who cares? Who's measuring?
Nobody's measuring, but the presentation is a part of, food. Like, it's a thing that you have to do. It's how you present the pizza.
You are worried about presentation.
No, I'm not worried about presentation, but I'm making my argument stand. That's the point. You know what? If there's any Italian person in there watching this video, please let me know your point of view. Should I start throwing all our scissors out the house? Because I did buy a slicer. Just so y'all know, I bought a slicer. Because I refuse to cut pizza with scissors.
A slicer that remains in the drawer when we order pizza.
No, it does not. I bring it out. Hey, Mario brought it out.
And by the time porque Mario is like, okay, Bryan is my friend, so I'm going to be on his side for Catan.
Well, then he got...
Oh, why I'm smiling? Because we've been together for almost 10 years now. And recently I ordered pizza. And I thought I was ordering the right crust for you because I know how much you like crust. And I thought I got it right. And I got it so wrong. I'm like, what kind of wife am I?
I can't believe you. I'm like, what happened there was your selfishness kicked in. You wanted a specific kind of pizza.
I ordered 2 different pizzas. I could have ordered, I really thought yours was the thin, crusty,
Meanwhile, when we were in the U.S., I always ordered the thick crust from Papa John's and breadsticks because I love bread. And they're thick and soft like their crust.
Yeah, but you don't like deep dish pizza from Chicago.
I don't like Chicago pizza. Stop making me say that. Oh, Chicago pizza.
Don't start a word.
It's always been a war. New York pizza versus Chicago pizza has always been a war. It's been a war. I'm not trying to start a war.
Okay, so Telepizza or Papa John's?
Papa John's only because of the crust. I need that in my life. The Telepizza pizza is good. I can't argue with that.
The barbecue from Telepizza
The barbecue from Telepizza is
good.
good. It's just that they don't have the crust the way I want the crust. That's the only problem. That's my only issue with it. And the fact that it doesn't come sliced.
You want me to contact them and we consult with them so they can
They need some consulting from me to get the crust right. This is important. This is important. I'm sure there's people here that love thick crust pizza.
Okay, so we cut pizza with scissors. I think that's like the weirdest thing that we can do in your eyes.
No. Other than that, that's so weird. No. We gotta do so many weird things.
But everything has a reason to it, so they're not weird.
Okay, so why isn't the pizza sliced?
Because you have scissors at home already.
Why you cut them with scissors and not a slicer?
Because not everybody has a slicer.
No. There's literally a utensil for pizza. Why don't you have it?
I bet that if we were to go down this building that we live in and knock on every neighbor's door and ask, do you have a slicer or scissors? I would say 89.9999% of them all have scissors, but they don't have slicers.
So then there's 89.999% of people that have a problem.
We don't have a problem.
Because obviously if there's at least 11% of people that know to buy a slicer, they on the right track.
Or maybe an American friend gave it to them and they never used it.
No, that's not the only weird thing you guys do. And this is just coming, from my perspective of it now. Kids. Love kids. Kids are great. Kids are awesome.
What's wrong with kids now?
There's nothing wrong with kids. It's the places kids go to with you guys. At 11 p.m., I'm fine with a kid at a restaurant. At a bar? At a bar?
Sí, pero no. Estás confundiendo dos cosas. Because your concept of bar is not our concept of bar. A bar in Spain is just a place where you can have something to eat and something to drink. It's not.
You can do the same thing in a bar in the U.S.?
It's not like a pub. It's not like a discotheque. But in the U.S., a bar is usually when you go sit down and you mainly drink and you can eat, but you mainly drink. So I understand that concept of taking kids to those places that are dark and the music is loud is not where you're supposed to take kids.
Hold on. I like how you phrase that, where you mainly drink and you can eat. I'm sorry, what do Spaniards do? Mainly drink.
We eat and drink. No, we do both equally.
It's not equally.
We do both equally.
Your way you say is like, you want to go for a drink. You don't say, hey, you want to go get a bite to eat? We say that. We say, hey, you want to get a bite? Even though we go and drink and eat, we say we go get a bite. You say you want to go get a drink.
Okay, I have another reason then.
You came up with something now?
Yes. You know how when your kids turn 21, they go crazy because they have never stepped in a bar before?
Yeah.
Our kids have been doing that since they were kids. So
since they were babies, yes.
Since they were babies. So they don't get like, they already know it. Like, for example, I'll tell you a really funny story. This AC is getting me sick. We need to come back to the Spanish way to just open the windows and put the fan on.
You open those windows, I toss you out of it. Continue.
So when I was a kid and I would go out with my mother and my friends, the neighbors and so on, here in the same place, I was like 4 or 5, and I would grab my mother and grab her purse and I would say, come on, mommy, let's go have a drink. So I would say, vamos a tomar una copa. And obviously, I didn't mean like to have a drink. I didn't even know what a drink was. But I would hear adults saying, vamos a tomarnos una copa, vamos a tomarnos no sé qué. And I would just repeat the same words. And I think that's cute. But if you were to hear that in the U.S., you would call child services.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you hear yourself?
Yes, I hear myself. What are you doing taking the kid to go get a drink?
No, but the kid is just a way of talking. How are you going to see a kid drinking an alcoholic drink?
It's not a way of talking. It's you're talking and then you do it. I'm not saying that you give kids drinks, but you do it. You take the kid to the bar. Y'all have a drink, but the kid is there at the bar.
You know what would be interesting? Social study. To hear people when they had their first beer or sip of wine or whatever. If you're from Spain, like when was the first time that you had one of those? I remember my first time.
What were you, 2? I'm just assuming wine just gets poured into your bottles at this point.
But yeah, that would be interesting to know.
I can't imagine seeing a kid at a bar that's just like a no-no. Like, yeah, you get child services called on you right away.
That's crazy.
Granted that bars are kind of different.
It's a different concept.
It's a different environment in
Yeah.
the U.S. and in Spain. Cool. But at the end of the day, it's still the time that you guys are out with the kids. So this is like 11 o'clock at night, and the kids are out with you guys at these places.
Especially if it's summer and there's no school the next day. Like, yeah, we do everything with our kids. We do everything with actually all generations. Like, I think this is something that you have pointed out that you love so much about Spain.
Yes, I feel like there's no such thing as, like for us in the U.S., whenever I see an elderly person, I always feel like I gotta go help them, regardless of whatever. I feel like they're outside the pace of society. But here, the elderly people are just like with society.
They are society.
They haven't fallen out. They haven't fallen out of the pace of society. They're in the mix. They're involved in stuff. They're very active. They always have bread in their hands. They're probably the first ones out in the morning going to get bread. They always
you see
do
them
something.
sitting down in the benches.
They're in the benches. They're in the parks. There's a lot of activity for them. Our elderly don't do that.
Yeah, I know. I remember when I lived in New York, like every time that I would see a person that obviously was over 60, and you see them like going up and down the stairs in the subway, I would feel so bad. And I always promise myself, it doesn't matter what, I will not live in this city at that age. Like, I have to get out of here sooner or later, because it's just not a place where you can see quality of life for that age, elders, but also for kids, for children. Actually, when I was living in New York, before I met you, my sisters, we have a big gap, you know that. So my sisters are much younger than I am. And I remember going to an Italian restaurant once with them. So we sat down, we had our lunch, whatever. And then after the lunch, I asked for the waiter to bring us 3 cappuccinos. And I know this is against, if any Italian is watching us, please forgive me. But like, I didn't like coffee in New York, so the safest option was cappuccino. I know you're not supposed to have a cappuccino after lunch, but that was like the safest option. So anyway, I ordered 3 cappuccinos, and the waitress was like, 3? I'm like, yes, 1, 2, 3. And she was like, but decaf? I'm like, no, caffeine cappuccino. She was like, but how old are they?
like cappuccinos are illegal.
I'm like, well, she's 9 and she's 11. And she was like, no, I can't bring. I'm like, can you just bring me 3 coffees, damn it?
She told you no?
She was like she was in shock. Like, how are you going to give caffeine to these 2 kids?
We don't do that.
I know. I told that story later on, and people were like, you were lucky that they didn't call you child services and took them all. I'm like, why are you so dramatic? Like, it's just coffee. It was cold outside. We had just had pasta. Let me have a coffee and have a little bit of sobremesa. By the way, the woman was kicking me out of the restaurant. Like,
you could have a coffee. They can have a hot chocolate if it's that cold outside.
Un colacao después de pasta?
Colacao. We don't have colacao in the U.S.
That's what hot chocolate is.
That's chocolate. At home is where you do that. But I can tell you why I wouldn't recommend doing that. Because my father giving coffee to kids. My father gave me coffee when I was 9 years old. The first time.
That's why you don't drink coffee.
I got addicted to it. Like, so bad. Like, I always wanted coffee.
What does your coffee have in the U.S.?
Milk and sugar. Tons of it.
Yeah, I've seen you drinking coffee.
So my dad put milk and put some sugar in it for me, and I drank. I was like, "Oh, this is great. Let me get another cup." And my dad was like, "No, just one is fine." I'm like, "No, that's good. Give me another cup." And exactly. The next day, whenever I caught my dad having coffee, I wanted a coffee. My mom picked me up from school. I came home. My dad had a coffee. I'm like, "Did you make me one? Did you make me one?" And he was like, "No." And I'll just be in tears. I'm like, I want my coffee. And I was sitting there arguing with my mom. My mom tried to make the coffee. And I'm like, it's not the same. You don't know how to make coffee. My mom was so upset with me and my dad.
I bet she was.
But anyway, see, now this is how you try to take my mind off the goal. That's what you try to do. So you got me caught up in my nostalgia.
I'm reinforcing your thing because I was 12, 13 when I was drinking coffee.
You see, you caught me in my nostalgia of my father and having coffee. But that's not the only weird thing. It's fine. You know what? I can get past... I can understand the cutting the pizza because you guys don't get it.
Because it makes sense.
Because it doesn't. No. The Italians are going to kill you in the comments. I'm letting you know right now, and I'm going to be right there acting like I'm Italian, typing in the comments against you. Now,
do this.
The other thing, find the kids, be free, go,
No, it's important they're part of the society. And
Absolutely. I think it's cool. I think it's cool.
It brings them like a better adulthood.
Yeah. You're raising vampires. Awesome. Now, my other thing is, speaking about like, nighttime activities, sleeping and waking up.
I know we go to bed very late.
No,
Is that what you're going to talk about?
No.
Okay.
I want to talk about your PJs under the pillow.
What's wrong about it?
You put why don't you just put them in your drawer? Like, why are you putting them under your pillow as if this is some like prized possession that you don't want nobody to steal? Like, it's just PJs. You don't have to hide it.
I'm not hiding it, but I'm not going to put my PJs that I've been sleeping on for 2-3 days into the drawer with the clean clothes. That does not make sense.
So then why wouldn't you just throw it in the washing machine and wash it
because it's not dirty yet, but it's not clean to be with the clean clothes.
Oh my gosh, do you hear yourself?
Yes. Where else are you going to put it? It just makes sense. What are the pillows for besides sleeping at nighttime? During the daytime, they need a function. The function is to protect the PJs.
The PJs are at risk for something? Are they?
No, it just makes sense, you crazy.
It does not make sense. You know what people would sometimes do? Being that
I don't think this is a Spanish thing, though.
You don't?
I think you just don't know.
Listen, I've seen a couple of reels of Spanish women talking about this, and they all put their PJs under the pillow. So at this
because
point,
where else are they going to go, you crazy?
In the drawer, away.
No, how am I going to put the PJs with the clean clothes? It doesn't make sense.
You know what? In the U.S., you know what we put under our pillows? Defense items like a baseball bat or a gun because, for safety purposes, for security purposes. My PJs aren't going to protect me.
Who is going to come to your room to kill you that you need a bat?
If someone breaks into your house, you're not going to have time to get up to run to your closet to get your super PJs to protect you in your outfit.
You guys are traumatized.
Yes, we are. We know this already.
But now that you say that, it reminded me when we were living in the RV, in the autocaravana around the U.S.
See?
And everybody would ask us what weapons do we have next to our bed. I'm like, weapons?
It is true.
Even I have my PJs.
You answer that. My PJs. What are you going to do? Throw it out?
What do you mean? How are you supposed to sleep with a weapon next to you? If you're that traumatized, don't live in an RV. Don't live in an autocaravana. It doesn't make sense.
It's not just autocaravana. It's in la casa también.
Pero no tiene sentido.
Mi amor, en Estados Unidos, tú sabes cómo mal es Estados Unidos, ¿no?
Sí, yo lo sé.
Vale, entonces, yo necesito un pistol.
Una pistola. Venga. I love you.
I love you too.
You're lucky that I love you.
What?
This reminds me of my explain it to me today.
Oh, there's explain it to me.
Yeah,
Tell
of course.
me,
There's always explain it to me because, you have called me that I'm an old lady because I have old lady behaviors. And one of the old lady behaviors is to have sayings under your sleeve.
And putting PJs under your pillow. That's an old lady behavior.
Anywho, sarna con gusto no pica.
¿Qué es eso?
Sarna con gusto no pica. In Murcia,
What doesn't itch?
I heard people saying more palos con gusto no duelen. And what it means is that when you're doing something, making a big effort or doing something that has a lot of hard work, as long as you like it, you don't feel pain.
That's not true.
What's not true? The sentence
that you feel pain.
You don't feel pain.
You feel pain.
When you're editing these movies that you're editing for other people, you're enjoying it. It's a long process. It's painful.
Yes, it's painful.
But you love it.
I love it. That doesn't change the fact that it's not painful. I want to treat my laptop like a freaking Frisbee sometimes.
Yeah, but you love what you do.
That doesn't take away the pain.
Yeah, it does take away the pain. The pain is less painful.
That's like I guess that's the equivalent of like, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. That's not true.
That's a cliche.
You're working, regardless of what it is.
No, why are you ruining explain it to me?
I'm ruining explain it to me. I'm helping explain it to me. I'm telling you the truth.
Sarna con gusto
no pica. Gusto no pica?
No pica.
But isn't pica the itch?
Sí. Y sarna is like an itching thingy, like when the skin gets like
whatever the skin does.
Not what you had because the sarna is worse, but that eruption.
Irritation?
That you had
like an irritation?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but sarna is different. It is caused by the dust little animals.
Mites?
Mites, yeah.
That's not cool at all. This is a bad explain it to me. That is
So sarna is literally like the illness caused, like what you had there. But imagine if it wasn't just because you were irritated, it's because it's like mites or like little bichos.
It's not like this is an allergy. That is mites.
Anyway, if you get that but you like it, it doesn't itch that bad.
Why would you like that? But if you like it, what?
It's like the same thing as what they said in Murcia. Palos con gusto no duele. Palos is like sticks. Like sticks, if you like them, they don't hurt.
Huh? What made you think this was a good thing?
It is a good thing because you're complaining about all these weird things that we do, but you definitely enjoy them because you still live here.
Do you not see the weird thing right here?
And
that you're saying that you enjoy
Spain.
mites. If you enjoy mites biting you, then it doesn't itch? Do you hear this? Am I the only one that's hearing this? This is a phrase?
Yeah. Sarna con gusto no pica.
Oh my gosh.
Palos con gusto no duelen.
What's palos is the stick, right?
Yeah, like being hit with a stick.
So if you like being beaten, then you're not really being beaten. You're just enjoying it.
Exactly.
What is wrong? What kind of S&M crap is this?
You have to learn these things.
Mites. Do you hear what you just
It's not like you love mites. It's just a comparison. Like that's something really bad. So if you're able to like that, it doesn't itch. So
Do you hear what you're telling me to like though? Like if you like mites biting you, it doesn't itch.
Que no, que es una comparación.
Can you make this sound good at all? Can you make this sound like think about it for a second?
Okay.
If mites are biting you and you itch, but you like it, it doesn't itch.
Pero
So
I'm thinking.
so you please, how can you make that sound good? There's no tone. There's nothing that you do. If you like mites biting you,
No, I'm finding another way of saying it. Like
yeah, done.
I was thinking about the melon the other day because I like melon, but recently I discovered that I'm allergic to it and I couldn't breathe the other day.
And you wanted to have melon the next day again
I did,
make sure?
just to make sure.
Just to make sure it's the melon, right? Yeah, genius.